built on a motte, an artificial mound of earth, over a bailey, surrounded by an earthwork rampart topped with a palisade. But that had been 3 centuries ago. Since then, a curtain wall of stone with drum towers had replaced the palisade, while a circular stone keep now stood in place of the tower. The River Hems had been dammed to flood the ditch surrounding the castle and create a moat far too wide for siege towers to be of use to any would-be attackers. In the passageway leading to the gatehouse, the peasants from Ballingham's estates queued to pay their rent to their lord. The wealthier peasants paid in coin, which the bailiff counted into small sacks and placed in an iron-bound coffer, while a couple of men-at-arms kept a watchful eye on proceedings. The poorer tenants paid in kind, and many of them clutched geese, chickens, or rabbits. The bailiff was arguing with a tearful tenant. He bowed as Beauconray passed.
"What's the trouble?"
demanded the steward.
"The usual,"
said the bailiff. "We've had a bad quarter," said the tenant. Beauconray recognised him as the innkeeper who ran the Ballingham Arms. "We've had less custom since the pestilence came. Only give me a week. I will go to a moneylender and borrow money to pay my rent, I promise."
"Now, what use would that be?" asked Beauconray. "Do you expect those who died of the pestilence to be restored to life and resume coming to your inn? Those moneylenders charge ruinous interest rates. His lordship has no wish to see you flounder ever deeper in debt, like a beast that has strayed into a morass. We'll come to an arrangement."
The innkeeper bowed low. "God bless you, Sir Hugues."
"How old is your daughter now?"
The innkeeper blanched. "She's only 12.
12 is old enough. His lordship likes them young. Have a report to the Great Hall next Monday. She can learn to be a serving girl."
The innkeeper fell to his knees and clutched at the steward's belt. "Please, Sir Hugues, anything but that."
"Unhand me, you oaf!"
Beauconray placed the sole of one shoe against the innkeeper's face and sent him sprawling in the mud.
"If it isn't his lordship, it will be some sweaty, scrofulous peasant lad. Which would you prefer? In any case, it's that, or we evict you and cast about for someone else to run the Ballingham Arms. Someone who can make it turn a profit."
Beauconray continued to the gatehouse. As steward of the castle, he enjoyed the privilege of an apartment on the upper floor. Another nobleman would have furnished it with a large 4-poster bed. Beauconray was content with a small cot, which left more room for the workbenches where he carried out many of his experiments, for his astrolabe, and shelving stacked with piles of books written by the natural philosophers in whose footsteps he followed: Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Zosimus of Panopolis, Theophilus, Roger Bacon, Geber, Thomas Aquinas, and Ramon Llull, in the hope of one day being able to contribute some discoveries of his own that would add to mankind's understanding of how God's creation worked. When Beauconray had finished writing up his notes, it was time to make some astrological observations. He headed up to the battlements of the gatehouse with the cross-staff he used to measure stars' altitudes. Brightly painted in blue and yellow, wooden galleries called hoardings covered the battlements, so, in the event of a siege, the defenders could drop rocks or pour boiling water over anyone trying to climb up the wall without exposing themselves to a hail of arrows from archers on the other side of the moat. Usually, the castellan of a castle only ordered the construction of such hoardings when a siege was imminent, but the English had taken the town of Calais 4 years earlier, after an 11-month siege, and with an English garrison only a few miles away through the Marsh, Guines had to be ready for an attack at any time. Occasionally, the English ventured out of Calais, following the causeways through the marshes to plunder the farmland beyond for forage, but they could not breach the castle walls. It was a clear night, perfect for making astrological observations, and a gibbous moon cast a silvery light on the marshes beyond the walls of St. Leonard's Abbey, a furlong to the north of the castle. The walled town of Guines lay immediately to the south. Beauconray found the North Star at once, then turned to his left to find Sirius sinking over the horizon to the southwest. Someone banged on the gate below.
"Who's there?"
called a sentry's voice.
"Brother Pierre Dubourg."
Beauconray crossed to the battlements, stepping through an opening into the hoarding overhanging the gate. A man had to watch his step in the hoarding. There were holes in the floor called murder holes, through which the defenders could hurl missiles. One false step, and Beauconray would fall to his death.
"Sentinel! Sir Hugues! Let the friar in, and show him up to my apartments."
"Yes, Sir Hugues."